And now the onboarding of South Africa as the newest shareholder of Afreximbank was a big deal event that opens up the window for a bigger intra-Africa trade under the AfCFTA and expected to deepen the development of the country. Let's get more from the presentations made by Dr. J. Jalombi, the president of Afreximbank, and Cyril Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa.
We're here in large numbers, Your Excellency, at your invitation. We came in quite a large group on my left here from Afreximbank. We are your clansmen and women. We represent your sub-clan of Afreximbank. Together with you, your team and South Africa, we all belong to a common homeland, that main clan which we call Africa. It is therefore not a privilege to join our clansmen today. It's a duty. It is what we normally should do on a more frequent basis. What brings us here is a particular form of duty, the duty that clan people owe to themselves, the duty to maintain the partnership of the clan. What brings us here is also the outcome of a journey that has transcended 3 generations of leaders of Afreximbank and several of the Republic of South Africa. Given the context, and not wanting to be outnumbered, we came with a large delegation. We came to perform the traditional rites of membership of the clan. We came so that you should recognize that we've always been members of the clan. This affirmation of the membership of South Africa in Afreximbank marks a decisive step towards uniting around the continent's economic interest, the interest of our mother clan. South Africa's membership of the bank, while providing Afreximbank a full continental coverage, brings the country into the heart of this institution's vision and its aspirations to promote the change so much desired in the structure of Africa's trade. We insist on changing the structure of Africa's trade, not just the trade. While it has been a 3-decade ambition for us at Afreximbank, Your Excellency, it was truly the Pan-African spirit and the strong leadership of yourself, your ministers, and the rest of your team here that turned a long and almost forgotten aspiration into reality. You have helped reignite the hope for a united continent which rallies around its common goals. Permit me, therefore, to pay special tribute to my immediate predecessor and your brother, Professor Orama, who made it a personal ambition to bring South Africa into the Afreximbank family. We thank him immensely for pursuing this objective with passion and determination, recognizing that our effort to transform Africa will remain incomplete, totally incomplete, without South Africa. Same to his predecessors, the first 2 presidents of Afreximbank, Mr. Christopher Edodo and Mr. Jean-Louis Ekra, who started the initiative and who reminded us month on month that Afreximbank as an instrument of trade is not complete until South Africa's membership is completed. This partnership could not have come at a better time, Your Excellency. At this particular time, when you yourself, both as a person and as a country, have faced extraordinary challenges with developments in the world. At this particular time, perhaps to remind us that those who built the modern world on what they call the foundation of global cooperation and multilateralism, may just be turning their backs on it. We do not have to reinvent the wheel. Let us look within the continent for sources of development. We have a sizable market of 1.4 billion people. That should become our preferred destination for the manufactured goods or for the sources of the raw materials we need to produce those goods that we must trade amongst ourselves first. The AFCFTA enjoins us to do so. We have abundant resources and enough capital to invest in processing capacities. The fate of our economies and the destiny of African people can no longer be tied to the benevolence of others. I am therefore pleased, Your Excellency, that together with the South African Department of Trade and Industry, under the leadership of Honorable Minister Park Stow, we have put together with him and his colleagues what we consider an important package to signify that South Africa's complete membership of Afreximbank was intended, it was deliberate, it was purposeful. We have put together an important package of 8 billion United States dollars, an initial package of 8 billion United States dollars for South Africa. This country package, we know, is aligned with South Africa's National Development Plan, the review's National Industrial Framework, and will target key areas. We intend to do very heavy investments in the local processing of natural resources, thereby helping retain value within our economies, create jobs, generate wealth for our people, for that's the ultimate objective. We intend to expand the revenue base for the South African fiscal authorities. In particular, we will prioritize mineral processing, the expansion of the automotive manufacturing and development, and the expansion of industrial parks and specialized zones. We plan to invest in the development of critical infrastructure, and this should include what we consider extremely important for South Africa and for many countries in our continent, that's energy generation and transmission. They are vital for the industrial production and for the mineral processes we heard above. No longer, Your Excellency, will we want entrepreneurs to say there is no power to do a mining plant. There is no power to process manganese in this country. We plan to do the industrial parks in which we would put them and provide the power. We also plan to facilitate access to regional and continental markets. That's the very purpose for which we were created, thereby realizing value from the single market under the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, to which our brother Wamkele Mene referred to.
Today we mark a major milestone in our quest to realize what I would call the economic integration of our continent, Africa. South Africa's accession to the Africa Export-Import Bank affirms our commitment to African industrial development and to deepening trade, investment, and development across our continent. Once finalized, the South African Afreximbank country program will be operationalized with a finance package, as we had, that will initially support a range of strategic projects across the trade and industrial cluster. And you are correct in saying, Minister Tau, that when the issue came up, I asked, this is so logical. And I even asked, what took us so long? Because this is the family that we should have been part of from the get-go moment. The program will inject capital into priority industrial projects, export diversification, infrastructure development, and more importantly for us, transformative initiatives. And one of those areas that we're going to focus on with immediate effect is to give muscle to our transformation fund, which Minister Tau and his team have been working on to support Black businesses who, by the way, were held back by the evil apartheid system from being active participants in the economy of our country. And this is where I am often amazed at those who have been privileged in the apartheid system, who are trying to block us as Black people as we seek to accede to becoming real economic actors in the economy of our country. And we thank Afreximbank for giving muscle to the objective that we have. And this today, for me, means that the Transformation Fund, which others have been opposing, is going to happen, and it's going to happen right now. So today's signing signals a deliberate as well as an ambitious and more impactful phase in our country's economic engagement with our beloved African continent as well as the world. For South Africa, the decision to accede to Afreximbank represents a strategic alignment. We seek to contribute to an Africa that prioritizes intracontinental trade, that builds its own industrial base and capacity, and also mobilizes African financial institutions to support development. For more than 30 years, Afreximbank has demonstrated its own ability, its resilience, its innovative capability, but it has more than that demonstrated that it has impact. It has developed a diversified portfolio across geographic areas as well as sectors. This partnership will strengthen in more ways than one South Africa's ability to support exporters, South African exporters that is, industrial projects and regional value chains while advancing our continent's development. South Africa accedes to Afreximbank at a time of both challenge, which at times makes people terrified, but it is also a time of great opportunity for our continent and indeed for our country as well. Global economic uncertainties, climate risks, and shifting trade patterns underscore the need for building economic resilience and capability. As a country, we are implementing far-reaching reforms and transformative actions to restore growth, to improve competitiveness, but also to expand inclusion. It is important for us, as we deal with all these challenges, we should also focus on engendering inclusive growth. Coming from a history where there was exclusion, where the majority of our people were excluded from economic activity, our focus is on inclusion. So the resources that we mobilize will therefore be focused on ensuring that there is inclusion in economic participation. We're working to accelerate economic growth by implementing various transformative reforms increasing infrastructure investment, and also targeting a reformed industrial policy. As we accede to the establishment agreement today, we do so with a clear understanding that membership alone is not the objective that we are seeking to achieve. What matters is how this partnership is translated into practical instruments that expand productivity, capacity, diversity of our exports, and integrate more South Africans into the regional and global value chain. And in doing so, we will seek to focus on empowering women-led businesses, youth-led businesses, for they are the real future of our country as well as of our continent.